of the New World Order, and I am the Narcopath. I'm here to give you some more compassion. I know when we first started to date, I was still living with my lover at the time, but I had you convinced that he was so abusive to me and he beat me. I could see it in your eyes, you were the one for me. You were all compassionate and sad. You quickly took the bait and rushed to ask me to move in with you. Remember that? Well, that's how I operate. The truth was, I was just sick of my lover. I'm the one who did the abusing. But you didn't need to know that, you see? I only tell you what you need to know, so I can get what I want. You'll notice, when I started to stray from you, I was doing the very same thing with the new one. I told the new one you were abusing me, and he did just like you did, and welcomed me into his arms.
I know I told you before I couldn't be on my own.
I have to have someone at all times, so I'll put up with what I have until what I want is in place and ready to go. It works every time. I'm brilliant, face it.
The side effects for the Moderna vaccine sound concerning. We looked. After the second dose, at least 80% of participants experienced a systemic side effect, ranging from severe chills to fevers. So, are these vaccines safe?
Well, the FDA, not being pressured, will, and the super severe. That is, it didn't cause permanent health problems for the FDA, not being pressured. Well, the FDA. Not being pressured, and the side effect, the side effects were not super severe. That is, it didn't cause permanent health problems for the FDA, not being pressured. Well, the FDA. Not being pressured, and the side effect,
I am the Narcopath. I'm in the doctor's office. I'm gonna get myself another vaccine. You know what I mean? Oh, right here. Hey, boy.
Okay, TJ, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna prove to you that my mask works to protect me. Yes, I'm gonna prove to you how effective my mask is, because you tell me it doesn't work. It won't stop anything from happening. Well, I'm gonna prove to you that this little mask is a lifesaver. We'll just do an experiment. Now, a virus is very microscopic. You can't see it. For visual aids, I'll be using this e-cigarette smoke, which will represent a virus.
Bear in mind you wouldn't see it like you would see smoke because it's millions of times smaller.
For this exercise, I'm just going to prove to you that this mask will save my life, yours too. So I'm going to inhale a virus now. See that? Let's do it again. See? No virus. It's me, the Narcopath of your nightmares.
Come on, let's not be so dramatic.
Just please. It's time for a few more of my wonderful confessions.
I realize
That I made it difficult to talk. Leon always wanted to have these serious conversations and I just couldn't stand it.
For example, I'd spend every day swearing how much I was in love with you when we were together, and I always acted jealous if I saw you even glance at another lady. And I was always acting insecure, you called it. I kept saying, I just want my man to be faithful to me. I don't want him looking at other chicks. I don't look at any other men.
I would say that kind of stuff all the time. And then you, bit by bit, would find out that that wasn't true. And you had lots of questions, because in some ways our relationship seemed like it was ideal and perfect.
Because I'm a good actor. You'd ask questions later about such things, like,
Why did you be so hard on me for thinking I'm looking at a chick when you were with the whole football team when I was on vacation?
I didn't have an answer. I was trying to pretend like I was in love with only you. When you questioned me about my extracurricular activities, I didn't have any kind of response.
So you know what I used to do when you did that? Instead of answering your questions about how I could do such a thing,
I would just think of something you did. And instead of responding to your question, I would just say, well,
what about that time you didn't call me back? What about that time you did this? What about that time you did that?
and I know you were looking for a two-way conversation where I'd say, oh yeah, it was bad. I shouldn't have done that last night. I should have thought of you. Oh, I'll never do it again. Those words don't exist in my vocabulary. I do what I want when I want. You're not supposed to know about it. So if you find out about it, well, that's your problem, because you bothered to spy on me. You didn't trust my word.
Your word can't be trusted.
So what? It doesn't matter if my word can't be trusted. You didn't need to know any of that.
That's one of your biggest problems. People do not like to be manipulated.
That's the way I do it.
That's all you ever do.
I couldn't really have any kind of real conversation about fixing my behavior because, as far as I was concerned, you're the one with the problem. You kept trying.
You gave up, didn't you? You used to write these long letters.
Pages worth. As soon as I got those, I read them over and over, but not because of what they said. I was practicing lines for another person I was working at getting, because I knew you weren't going to last much longer, so you gave me some perfect material to use, because, face it, I am a real person. I don't have natural things I just say at random. I have to script it, and I don't know what to script. So I use things like your letter. Your long letter gave me a lot of things which I'd practice in front of the mirror. And I would just use those lines on other people. Sometimes they looked at me kind of funny.
But I just quickly changed the subject.
I used your words to get me further ahead. Because I am the Narcopath. It's what I do of your night.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.